Welcome to the 30th Pan-Pacific Conference here at the Sandton Convention Center, co-hosted by the Faculty of Management at the University of Johannesburg. My name is Dupree Strauss, and with me I have Jayne Rogerson from the Department of Geography, Environmental Management and Energy Studies at the University of Johannesburg. Thank you very much for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
Your paper and the talk that you gave about the paper is entitled Understanding the Hotel and Leisure Sector as a Property Asset Class in an Emerging Economy like South Africa. First off, you speak of conventional property classes and how the hotel sector differs from those. Would you elaborate?
Right. Most of the listed properties in South Africa actually invest only in offices, retail properties, and industrial properties. Hotels are not really viewed as an asset class. They're seen as a hybrid, they're seen as tricky, they're seen as difficult to value. So unlike the States and Europe, who have actual funds who just invest in hotels, in South Africa we invest mainly just in the traditional property asset classes.
So would you say that's a uniquely South African problem, or is it unique to other emerging economies as well?
It's probably unique to other emerging economies as well, because the hotels are tricky. It's more the global north that is invested in the hotels as a property asset class. We do have one fund, the Hospitality Property Fund, which invests only in hotels, but is the only one we have, whereas in the States they will have hundreds of them.
I see. And in your paper you mentioned that the South African hotel property class shows commonalities and differences when compared to those in advanced communities. What are some of these commonalities and differences?
The differences are that we have very little investment. So that's a difference between us and them, whereas they have a lot of investment in hotels. And also the difference is that it's very difficult for us to get data to measure the property industry in the hotel sector. It's fairly secretive. It's more open overseas. The commonalities are that we have started to list, and also that hotels are viewed very much as the hybrid asset that they are.
What recommendations can you make, or must you first wait for more research to be done in this hotel sector in order to attract more investment to it?
I think there will be more investment in the future. What happens is that investors only really started investing in hotels around 2008, 2009, when the sector was doing incredibly well. And then they burnt their fingers because the whole economy collapsed. However, they've seen that emerging economies and countries like Australia have invested more and more in the sector, and we do tend to follow their trends. And people have said, even though they've burnt their fingers, they now have a little bit more understanding about the sector, and they will probably look at it more seriously when there's a tick up in the economy.
Well, let's hope that happens.
Yes, thank
Jayne
you.
Rogerson, thank you very much for joining us.
Only a pleasure.
You're watching the 30th Pan-Pacific Conference from the Sandton Convention Center, co-hosted by the Faculty of Management at the University of Johannesburg, developing future-fit leadership.